Welcome to another video on Biology by Perfect Scores. This is Preetinder Kaur, and the topic that we are going to cover in this video is based on ecology. So the first thing that we are going to start with is the pyramids of energy. So that's a very important concept when it comes to ecosystems. And in the previous video, we have just discussed how energy is lost at various trophic levels. That is the reason why usually in a food chain there are maximum of 4 to 5 trophic levels, because beyond that energy is not enough to be transferred to the next level. So let me give you an example of a pyramid. So at the bottom of the pyramid you have your primary consumer, and the energy is, let's suppose, 10,000 joules. So this is the primary consumer. Now upon that you build the pyramid for primary consumer. Sorry, this was primary producer, which is the first trophic level. This is the primary consumer, the first consumer. And since only 10% of the energy will be transferred, so only 1,000 joules of energy is there. After this comes the level of the secondary consumer. So again, only 10% of the energy, so 100 joules only. And finally, at the end, you have the tertiary consumer with energy of only 10 joules. So you see, this diagram is taking the shape of a pyramid. So this is the pyramid of energy, which is a graphical representation of the amount of energy of each trophic level in a food chain. So that is the definition. And usually the pyramids of energy, they are expressed in units of energy per area per time. Or in other words, kilojoules per meter square per year. So that is the way the energy is represented. Now pyramids of energy will never appear inverted because some of the energy stored in one source is always lost. So that is the reason why they will never be inverted. Because it is inevitable that energy will be lost, and this is actually the application of the second law of thermodynamics. So let me write it down over here. Now each level of the pyramid of energy should be approximately 1/10 the size of the level preceding it, because energy transformations, when they go in this direction, they are only 10% efficient. That is the reason we came from 10,000 joules to 1000, from 1000 to 100, and from 100 to 10 joules of energy. Now there's a little difference between how energy and how nutrients flow. Now energy, it can enter and it can leave the ecosystems. But when it comes to nutrients, they do not enter or leave, rather they are recycled. Now the movement of energy and matter through the ecosystems are related because both occur by transfer of substances through feeding relationships. So there is transfer of substances that takes place via the feeding relationships. But energy cannot be recycled, and the ecosystem must be powered by a continuous influx of energy. So that is the sun's energy. Let me represent it like that, from an external source. But the nutrients, they are being recycled within an ecosystem as food, either as living or by dead. So the autotrophic activities of the producers, they produce organic materials from inorganic sources. So producers produce organic material from inorganic resources, and this is further consumed by the consumers. Now when these organisms, they die, These inorganic materials, they are returned back to the soil where they are used as fertilizers. And thus energy flows through ecosystems while nutrients they cycle within them. A specific example of this recycling of nutrients is going to be the saprotrophic bacteria and fungi. Now, in order for organisms to grow and reproduce, they need a supply of the elements with which they are made. Now, these bacteria and fungi, their saprotrophic activity, it is known as decomposition. So they basically act as decomposers. So the saprotrophic activity of decomposers, it frees away the inorganic materials and ensures a continual supply of the raw materials needed for growth and development. And these raw materials can then be consumed or ingested by the consumers. So saprotrophic bacteria and fungi, they play a vital role in recycling nutrients within an ecosystem. So that is all that we will be covering in this video, and in the next video we are going to take up some important concepts like the greenhouse effect. We will discuss that in detail. We will also discuss the fixation of carbon dioxide, the precautionary principle, and also the nitrogen cycle, and lots of concepts regarding populations and their sizes. So keep watching this video and more such videos. To get a hold of more videos on vocabulary, you can visit perfect-scores.com. And don't forget to share and like us at Facebook, and to send us your valuable suggestions at perfectscores89@gmail.com. This is Preetinder Kaur for Perfect Scores, and thank you so much for watching this video.